Today KL Overland becomes 1500 Overland. I purchased a 2019 Ram 1500 Laramie about 2 months ago. The first question I'm sure people who have a KL want to know is, why did I go from a Jeep KL to a Ram 5th Gen? The KL was good to me up until the day I traded it in for a measly $13,000. It was $41,000 new. I owned it for just about 4 years, and I had about 75,000 miles on it when I traded it in. So in my experience, that's about $7,000 of depreciation per year. But keep in mind that I had to grind down some of the frame to fit those tires, and the lift and a lot of the off-road parts for the KL don't have a lot of support. Now, why not go with a Wrangler? That makes sense, or maybe a Wrangler Unlimited. It really all comes down to size and what I'm going to do with the thing. In December of 2017, my Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram dealership called me and they asked me if I wanted to test out any of the new JLs. And if I had already been considering trading in the Cherokee. I drove it, I liked it, there was no great complaints, and at the time I didn't know about the weld issues they've been having, obviously. But I just couldn't go through with it, and it came down to size. It's a pretty small truck, and it wasn't going to give me much more storage than I had in the KL. If I was going to justify it for myself, it was really all about those solid axles. If something you like to do is trailer your Jeep out to rock crawl it, and you're not worried about lots of trail damage, and that's your thing, then absolutely that's the right way to go. But there's two things I've noticed happen to Wrangler owners when it comes to overlanding. First, you get your Jeep, you start throwing on all this cool gear, you add a lot of weight, you add big tires, and now you need to re-gear the thing or add power. And the second thing I've noticed is that Wrangler owners who specifically love overlanding usually end up getting trailers. One of the most important considerations I had was that I was just about to move to Vegas, and I had been used to thick California forest trails where you need a short wheelbase or you're not going to make it through so many trails. Where out here we've got wide trails through the desert, and it's not as big of a deal to have a long wheelbase vehicle as long as you have the ride height. Alright, so I've explained why I got the Ram, but why did I not get the Rebel? I got a Laramie with the off-road group. I looked at the Rebel. To be honest, it wasn't even a close call. I didn't have that much interest in the Ram Rebel at all. With the off-road group, I get a 1-inch lift, I get different shocks, I get a rear locking differential, and I get skid plates all over. I get the hill descent control. That means that the only difference between a Rebel and my Laramie is that the Ram has a front bumper with a better approach angle that's got an extra skid plate on there, and it has 33-inch tires, which doesn't matter. And I believe it does have different shocks, but we're very close with the off-road package. I have every option except the air suspension and the side steps because I want to put on real rock rails that I can bash into rocks as hard as I can. And I didn't get the tow package because that deletes the 360 camera, but I do have the trailer brake controller. They did release the Rebel 12, which is a silly name, but that does introduce the 12-inch screen to the Rebel and allow for the 360 camera. But God, I hate that trim. I hate the copper trim interior pieces. Just not a fan, not for me. So that hopefully answers why I ended up with the vehicle I did. In another video, I'll do an in-depth look at the Laramie. I'll go through the car and show you its quirks and features. But for today, I just wanted to tell you why the name of the channel was changing and that I'll be putting out more videos more consistently. As for this video, this morning I met up with Angel from Overland Bound. He's member 6983. We met up at Nevada 160 and West Cougar Avenue. That's the Blue Diamond area. It's about 20 minutes west of Las Vegas. Neither of us had been out this way, but a quick plotting of our route on Google Maps looked promising. The first 5 miles of the trip were extremely easy, not a single problem. And as we kept traveling, the road came to a complete stop at a cliff, so abruptly that we theorized there must have been a bridge there at some time. We turned around in the mouth of one of these caves that had been filled in, and it was just another 3 miles back. We didn't backtrack the whole time, and we parked at a trailhead, and Angel pointed out this nasty little chunk that got taken out of my tire. Less than 30 seconds later, he realized he had a nail stuck in his front passenger tire. And luckily, I was able to help out for once, and I had a tire patch kit on hand. And that was the whole trip. It was 5 hours. It's a great route. It's only 20 miles from Las Vegas. This is the first time I had met up with anyone from Overland Bound. It's a great group if you're curious. I'm number 10,636. I was a little late to get my membership. And I hope that some of you KL fanatics will still stick around. You know, I still plan to put out some great content. I'm going to ramp up how many videos I'm going to do. It's still going to be great off-roading and overlanding tips you can use no matter what you drive.